So the Inkatha Freedom Party has agreed to the ANC's proposal to be part of a government of national unity. It follows talks between the IFP, the ANC, as well as the Democratic Alliance after the governing party lost its national majority in last month's vote for the first time since the dawn of democracy. Well, IFP leader Velenkosini Hlabisa says it's vital to put the interests of South Africans first as he joins us now via video link for more. Mr. Hlabisa, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start with this. Could I be speaking possibly to the Deputy President, incoming Deputy President of our country soon?
Good morning, as well as the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Well, I don't know anything about what you are asking. For now, all I know, we are engaged in discussions and the details are about to be concluded, but I have no idea about what you are talking about.
Okay, so I see you're going to play it safe for some time, but I'm going to keep pushing though nonetheless. Talk to me about the talks that you have had. You've sat with the Democratic Alliance, you've sat with the ANC, a clear move there that you've decided to join this government of national unity. Let's clarify, is it just the three parties that you know are part of this GNU, Mr. Hlabisa?
For now, the political parties whom I know have made a commitment are the three political parties. And just for the people of South Africa, the IFP long ago knew our country will be governed by a coalition government. And we prepared for this one for more than 12 months ago, and we are ready to make our contribution and take our country forward.
Did you know, though, that you would be entering into a coalition or government of national unity with the ANC? I mean, prior to us getting the results of this election, the IFP was very much standing as a member of the multi-party charter, a charter that was signed by all party members who all agreed to Section 7 of the charter that said that you would be working together to vote the ANC out of power. So did the IFP know that at this point you would be working with the ANC?
All the IFP knew was that the ANC will not be a majority government governing our country, and we wanted an alternative government with which the parties, we started to prepare. We achieved goal number one, to cut the ANC below 50%. But the MPC could not cross the line of having a majority of 50% plus one. Therefore, we were ready for a coalition government with any political party. We will share a common interest and agree on certain broad principles to take our country forward.
Yeah. How have you made the decision, and I'm going to zone in on KZN now for a moment, because there we saw a very different sort of result to what we saw in other parts of the country, right? The MK party in the lead, and then, of course, followed up by the IFP and the ANC. How was it that the IFP has made the decision that you would lean towards working with the ANC? How have discussions been going between the IFP and the MK party, particularly where KZN is concerned? We're hearing now that the MK party has said that they are keen to speak to the IFP. Have you given them your ear?
The IFP gave an opportunity to have a formal meeting with the MK on Monday. As I reported yesterday, that meeting could not materialize because our team waited for 4 hours. But our door still remains open even today to engage with the MK, because the IFP believes in an inclusive process of all political parties who have a common view in terms of taking our province forward or our country forward. So now our doors are still open to engage with the MK. Yeah. But so far, we have agreed with the ANC as well as the Democratic Alliance, and discussions up until late night were going forward, engaging the NFP. in preparation for tomorrow.
But what kind of discussions could you have with the MKP when you've already made these decisions to work with the ANC? So essentially, walking into a potential meeting with the MK party, what are you going in there to say?
My sister, coalition governments are very dynamic. If you look around the world, you will find a different alignment in a province because people voted in a certain way. Typically, people of KwaZulu-Natal voted differently because they put MK as number one, although it does not have a majority. So now it needs other political parties in order to govern. It cannot govern alone. That is why we believe you must address the reality as shown or demonstrated by the voters.
Okay, let's talk about what's been discussed in those coalition talks. GNU talks about what happens to various positions. Who is the IFP putting forward as Speaker of the National Assembly?
Those final details will be emerging this afternoon to early morning tomorrow. We are having a standing meeting late this evening to finalize the details. What we did in the interest of the country, we agreed on broad principles that voters spoke loud and clear and said political parties find each other, get common grounds, take our country forward. We have agreed on those broad principles. The details are being worked, as I'm saying, until very late this evening, and the information will be clear in the morning tomorrow.
Are these details being worked out within the ranks of the IFP or with other political parties as part of the GNU? Surely, even as you step into the National Assembly tomorrow, you will want to put forward a name. Let's leave Speaker because you're not going to give me that. But surely you've already considered who should lead the country in the position of President, Mr. Hlabisa.
You know, you can't ask something that is obvious. A political party that got a bigger mandate is the African National Congress. And the IFP will not participate in a futile exercise where we stand against what the people spoke loud and clear. So the IFP, as we get into the government of national unity, we will not be contesting unnecessary positions to be contested, because we are not interested on positions, but take the country forward. It is not only the president who makes the country go forward, but is a collective wisdom of all people, members of the parliament, members of the executive, and everybody involved in the decision-making process as well as implementation.
Do you believe that you would make a good deputy president?
All I know, I'm a good servant of the people of South Africa from 1995 up to date. That is all I'm sure and convinced I can do the best.
And what would you prioritize, Mr. Hlabisa, if you were deputy president of the country?
No, I can't prioritize for a position which I have not been appointed to.
Okay. What would you make of John Steenhuisen as the deputy president? Do you think that he could be put forward as the deputy president of South Africa?
My sister, I will be jumping the guns if I start saying who is not and who will be. I think in the best interest of our country, let us allow the engagements by political parties. What we are doing, we are giving them an assurance that tomorrow Parliament is going to sit and establish structures that will take our country forward. We can't have a country that will be at a standstill. I think if we can give that opportunity and at the right time, once the position issue has been settled, political parties will communicate accordingly. I wouldn't want to speak much about other political leaders.
Yeah, I think that we obviously as a country wait with bated breath, Mr. Hlabisa.
Yeah, but my sister, wait, my dear.
Yes.
You know, while the country is waiting, as we have indicated, a responsible thing that we have done, we have given assurance that we are finding each other. We are going to be working together. The Parliament is going to sit on Friday and establish structures. We do not want to communicate half-baked information. Once details are available, we will take our country into our confidence.
Just lastly, before we wrap up, Mr. Hlabisa, what do you say to those that say where race is concerned and the political direction of the country with this government of national unity is perhaps a step a step backwards for Black South Africans, who say that entering a government of national unity with the Democratic Alliance is seen as giving some power back to a party that is largely seen as white? What do you say to that?
But look at the voters, how they express themselves, and respond to how the voters express themselves. If you noticed in our statement, there is a paragraph which says the IFP is aware of the social divide between the poor and the rich, between people on the basis of color. And we said we support the national dialogue. The national dialogue must go back to address these issues, because people of South Africa should not be treated or classified into race. But that is the reality which we must address in terms of who is progressing, who is having land, the question of who is in government. Those people are put by the voters. If you look, then you will see the Democratic Alliance is number 2.
Okay, well, we're going to leave it there. We really do appreciate your time, and we'll be watching closely, of course, to see how things play out in the National Assembly tomorrow. That there, Mr. Velenkosini Hlabisa, leader of the Inkatha Freedom Party.